Hey, what's up guys, aarava here, and welcome to the last question mark challenge here today for the 2019 German Grand Prix. This video being posted straight after the real life qualifying, so let me know what you guys thought of Saturday qualifying, how the grid shapes up, and let me know your predictions for the race tomorrow. And be sure to come back to this video and let me know if you got those predictions right. But we're here with the last question mark challenge with Sebastian Vettel. Obviously his hometown here, actually was born not too far from the Hockenheim ring. So try and do the challenge with Vettel. Of course, wasn't an amazing time for the German last year in 2018. I think we all know what I'm referring to. Hopefully, it's not going to be the same thing in 2019, although there is some forecast for rain as it stands right now as I'm recording this ahead of Saturday even at Hockenheim, so we'll have to see about that. But here, it's clear skies for the challenge here today from P20 on the grid. If you're unfamiliar with the challenge, we're here for a 25% race, so short and snappy race. Can't dawdle with the overtakes, have to make them, count basically straight away if we want to try and aim for, I would say in a Ferrari car on the game, a podium maybe in real life a little bit unrealistic with a Ferrari, the lack of downforce potentially, but good straight line speed, so technically down that long back straight could be very good, and in the game the Ferrari is very good in a straight line as well, but being the game we could probably try and definitely aim for a podium, I hope, trying to make some passes through on the opening lap. That'll be quite crucial really to get away from the traffic basically, and then be able to actually flex our muscles with the engine power down the back straight. Yeah, let's also see if I can do any wizardry and maybe predict Vettel's finishing position or the race winner. I've done that in the past. I've also jinxed it sometimes in the past, so either way, you guys can let me know after Sunday if I've jinxed it or kind of predicted anything correctly. But obviously, being a 25% race, going to be a one-stop, soft tire to the mediums, the red wall to the yellow wall, and it's going to be pretty simple. We're going to stay on the fastest compound to start, not going to try anything funny by swapping them around, just going to go as fast as we can at the very start here in the opening stint, and then just go on to the slower compound second stint. So here we go then, to 5 red lights to the German Grand Prix, and we're underway in Vettel's Ferrari from P20. Bit of a slow start, but probably a good thing into turn 1 here at Hockenheim. Very tight, just going to take it nice and easy, suss out where I can go. Had to kind of brake check myself there a little bit as Kubica was very slow into turn 1 in the Williams. We're going to try and get around the outside of Russell, and if we can, maybe Danke Fiat in the Toro Rosso there, feeding the power. Going to get squeezed out though a little bit into the apex. Have to get very aggressive and get the elbows out there with the Russian to make sure we get that position. P17 though, but Stroll very aggressively then walters out on the left-hand side to overtake Grosjean. We're going to get the double toe off Grosjean and Stroll there and send one to the inside of not only those two, but also Antonio Giovinazzi in the Alfa Romeo racing car. Very close stop, having to bang tyres front left to his front right there and get very aggressive, probably a bit too aggressive than I wanted to, but I didn't actually expect to make that pass there. Kind of as I saw the car coming towards me, I thought I need to commit to the apex, otherwise this is just going to end up horrendously. So we make it work up into P14 as we go through just in front of the Mercedes grandstand, and we're going to go into the stadium section now. Obviously the infamous place where the incident, I'll call it, occurred in 2018. This time though, send one to the inside of the Toro Rosso and maybe the McLaren. No, not quite, but we're still battling with Albon there, having to try and jostle at the wheel, try and keep the car in a straight line and get that position into P13, and Sainz will have to wait until lap number 2. But I think pretty damn good progress, I would say, considering the awkwardness of some of those corners there with the AI. But we are going to rapidly close up to Carlos Sainz, then very slow in the McLaren into turn 1, and we have a lovely little move to the inside there. Very tricky actually in real life, let alone the game as well, to the inside of turn 1 there, because AI love to kind of pinch you and be very aggressive with the defensive move there. So surprised we got that done. And so with that, we move on to the end of lap number 2 now. We're caught up to the next train basically. That's tail end by Ricciardo and Hulkenberg, the two Renaults Line and Stern in P11 and 10. Again, trying to size up the move essentially into turn 1 again, like we did with Carlos Sainz there. Getting very close though into the last corner, but the dirty air hitting in onto the nature of the corner, unable to make a move, and we don't have quite the exit we did on the McLaren there. So I think the McLaren just must have got a really poor exit, probably on non-ERS maybe, as we're definitely on using some higher ERS modes. Ricciardo though goes very defensive now into this next swooping right-hander. We go on the outside, but he's going to squeeze us so hard that I just can't make that. I try my best to keep it on the inside there, but he was just going to squeeze us straight off the circuit. So no love lost between two former teammates from Red Bull. Now in Renault and Ferrari as it stands. Ricciardo with DRS, we're having none of it. To the inside we go. He tried to hold the inside line, but we said we want it instead, and so to the inside of the hairpin, real wide on purpose to squeeze him out indefinitely, and we're up into P11. We squeezed him out so much that Carlos Sainz sent one to the inside as well, so you're welcome Sainz. But now we're going to close up to our fellow compatriot then, the other German, Nico Hulkenberg, who's trying to do the best job he can in the Renault. We have a little pinch to the inside of the last corner, doesn't work out. So again, the Renault's real slow to that corner, so they're just so inviting basically, but just not enough pace to quite make it work. So instead, again, on the exit at turn 1 this time though, unlike with Ricciardo, we'll go to the inside now and make sure we can be the one that squeezes out the car. We're defending it or attacking rather, and we're up into P10 now. Now we chase after another former teammate of ours, Kimi Raikkonen in the Alfa Romeo racing car, DRS open, and the speed difference here is quite surprising, actually, considering the Alfa Romeo has a Ferrari engine as well. But of course, we're the works Ferrari team, so I wouldn't be surprised if we have some higher engine modes and just general better pace in our engine. Obviously, on the game, that definitely is the case with the R&D. We know that from career mode on the base cars, but if we're talking about real life, then definitely probably they have a few extra modes that they can use that Alpha can't, I would guess, maybe, even if they say they don't. But we now move on to towards lap number 5, P9, but we're going to try and make it P8 if we can on Lando Norris, and it's going to be 2 for 2 McLarens to the inside of turn 1. Don't know what it is about McLaren, but they just don't seem very strong right now on the game into turn 1 here at Hockenheim. I don't know if that's going to be the case in real life. We'll have to see in the race, but taking 2 for 2 there, up into P8, and now we're going to shoot ourselves across and slingshot affect us onto the back straight with Magnussen. DRS open there, using medium ERS and standard fuel mixture. We just gain on him because he's a sitting duck without DRS. And so we're into P7, just able to save some fuel, save some ERS for later on to chase off that man, Pierre Gasly, that we're hoping to catch up. And it's now the start of the real kind of fight, I guess you could say, for the podium. We've done all the kind of, usual suspects. It's now the kind of top 6, the top teams. Although I say that there is one person odd out here, which is the man ahead of Gasly, who's holding up quite a treat, which is Sergio Perez. Fair play, Perez. He actually got ahead of Gasly and held him up for that long on lap number 6, to the point where I come in right behind Perez for the pit stop there. Going to try and get an undercut on Gasly if we can. So yeah, kudos to the Racing Point car for being that high up for that long. But now it's a race in the pit lane, and my team going to do some great work actually here, putting on the medium tyres very quickly. And so down the pit lane we go, and we jump Sergio Perez, and so that's one more free position I don't need to worry about in the race then. So now we just get the hammer down and try and see if we can do anything on undercutting Pierre Gasly. Verstappen is up the road next in P12, and he will probably be the next car we're actually chasing on track once we've got past and confirmed we're past Gasly. But we have to make sure we can actually do that right now as we move on to lap number 8, now into turn 1, and we're up into P5. Then Leclerc's the next car that comes out, so I think we definitely have jumped Gasly then, and so Verstappen's actually ahead of Leclerc, surprisingly. So the Red Bull car got some great pace, or at least one of the Red Bull cars had some great pace. But now lap number 8 into the hairpin, trying to make a move on the outside. Probably not the best way to go about it, but we're going to tighten up the car a little bit faster and get on the power a little bit quicker than Leclerc did. And so we are going to shoot through. It's a drag race, and it's a drag race we're going to win as we squeeze out Leclerc very aggressively just before the Mercedes grandstand corner, and we're up into P4. So Verstappen's P3, and it's no surprise, shock horror, the two Mercedes are 1 and 2. But to say that I wanted to chase after Verstappen, Leclerc actually fancied coming back at me, so maybe something we might see in the real life Grand Prix, because Leclerc was fastest in FP1 and FP2, I think it was, or at least FP2, with Vettel trailing him. So at the moment this might be a fight we see in the race, depending on how the race pace is between these two. But Leclerc has overtaken us there, so it's not often in the last question mark challenges I get re-overtaken by other cars, but Leclerc really fancied it, and I actually make a mistake there trying to keep up with him with the dirty air as well, and so we have to actually wait patiently to lap 11 to try and close back up. The only thing though for me is Verstappen's not getting away too much. Like, whilst Leclerc overtook me, we were still both gaining on Verstappen, so it's not that bad, but it's not ideal, of course. But we're going to use the DRS now and fire past Leclerc and obviously gain some time on the straight. But getting very aggressive, he is squeezing us on the right there, so definitely wanting to show he's the #1 Ferrari car. But sorry mate, it's not going to be the case with this race, at least on the game, as we are up into P4 once again, and now we can actually chase after Verstappen. And by the time we get to lap 14 then, so a few laps it's taken us, we now finally have that Red Bull Honda in our sight. So we didn't even really get to see much of Gasly as we overtook him in the pit lane. So we're going to try and overtake Verstappen out on track, and the two Silver Arrows are actually not too far ahead. So I don't know, is there a chance of a cheeky second place or even a win last minute? Don't know. We have a bit of a issue there with some understeer on that left-hander, so I think I might have just jinxed it a little bit there, but we're still going to fly through. And look at the speed gains here. Ferrari v Honda, pretty ridiculous. Probably not the case like in real life, I would say. I don't know. We'll have to see. But that looks pretty damn insane how much we caught up to say how far we were behind to Verstappen. And now in a straight line off the hairpin, get that same acceleration, that good one that got us past Leclerc in the first place, and we're up into P3 and on the podium for the German GP. But the Mercedes cars are just up ahead, and they might start to fight. And if they do, that could invite us into maybe the fight for second or even first place. You never know. So we keep pushing on. We've got 3 more laps. Never say never in Formula 1, and we keep going then. And we're now on the last lap of the Grand Prix, and look at that. The two Silver Arrows side by side. Bottas trying to get the lead of Hamilton. He's on the outside there. I think that he's been squeezed out, and so Hamilton maintains that first place. We've also had a good first sector, trying to close up as much as we can. Bottas again pulls out to the inside. I think that is to make the move. He's at the fast lap of the Grand Prix, so he's going for the race win as well if he can. He's got it. I think he has. Yeah, Hamilton down to second place. Valtteri Bottas gets it on the last lap lap of the Grand Prix to win this German Grand Prix. We'll see, obviously, if that's going to be anything, if that's going to mean anything for tomorrow's race. Have I just jinxed it? Have I just predicted it? Probably more so, I would say, jinx it, because Hamilton's in the form of his life at the moment. But you never know. Bottas 2.0 might come through. But we come home in P3 with Sebastian Vettel. I'm sure Vettel would be probably pretty happy with third place at his home race, considering how good that Mercedes car is as of late, and also the fact that Red Bull look like the closer team to Mercedes lately, if you look at the last 2 rounds compared to Ferrari. But Ferrari have shown some good pace as I record this on Friday, and this video goes out on a Saturday, but the race is on it's all very confusing. But as I record this, Ferrari are showing some okay practice pace, but obviously things change, and obviously you guys have seen qualifying now, so you can let me know what the qualifying was like, and that might tell a different story, and then the race tomorrow will tell probably a completely different one as well from qualifying, because we know how that always works with Mercedes and race pace, and even Red Bull and race pace, and all that jazz. But guys, if you did enjoy this video, then be sure to smash that like button. Let me know your thought in the comments below, and like I said, let me know your predictions for tomorrow's German GP. Come back here then after the real life Grand Prix and let me know what, and you basically can see how you did on those predictions. And if you aren't around here to subscribe for weekly full-on content, I've been aarava. Have a nice day. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.